Hey there guys, it's Metro, and tonight we're taking a look at the Venam encounter in Pokemon Rejuvenation version 8. In case you guys aren't aware, I'm remaking all my content for Pokemon Rejuvenation, as most of the stuff I made for it has been outdated and changed. This is going to be the first episode in that series, basically just doing guides on the content that's difficult, like gyms, maybe puzzles, and then other types of battles. So on the screen, we're going to go through this every time it's applicable, okay? On the screen, you'll see the field, and we're going to talk about that a little bit first. This comes with the game, by the way, guys, so you can read this yourself, but I feel like this is a very important part in analyzing the difficulty. Now, since it's the first gym, there's really not a lot going on here. You can kind of counter it, but there are a few things that I want to talk about. Smackdown, Mud Slap, Mud Shot, Muddy Water, and Mud Bomb. These moves deal additional poison-type damage and increase power by 1.5. So even though I don't intend to use Smackdown, I do have it on my roster. It would be a good idea to actually use it. I could have used it in a few situations, but the strategy I like to go with does not necessitate it. The other issue, not thing of issue, it's not actually a problem, but something that you should be aware of, is that Sleep Powder and Poison Powder now always hit, okay? Base accuracy of these moves becomes 100. So, if you have Venusaur, like I'm recommending here, by the way, guys, I'm going to use Venusaur in every single gym probably. So, you should definitely be taking him if you're looking for, to follow these guides. He's going to be a key component of all strategies. But anyway, Sleep Powder is a main affix on him, and it's very good. I use it. I don't get it's kind of difficult because you use it and then the Seviper has Shed Skin, but anyway, that's just some things there. Okay, so there's the poison field. It's not too much in play, but either way, let's get right into the actual gameplay here, and we'll talk about matchups. Okay, let's take a hard look at the team here. The main players are really Esper and Woobat, although Pavilion and Geodude do play a good role. Ivysaur is kind of that niche role that I was kind of talking about on the intro there. But really, there's not much I can say for this, guys. Since it's the first gym, just bring psychic types, and if you honestly, you can probably just bring like 2 or 3 rock types, but I'll explain to you like a little bit more than that while we do the battles. There are a few matchups that are important, like this first one. The first thing that you want to try to avoid is toxic spikes, but even if you do, I've kind of stacked my team to not have to worry about the toxic spikes. I'm just going straight psychic against poison here. There's nothing hard about it, but I do want to try to avoid the toxic spikes because it can do some damage, complicate the encounter. But that's definitely why I brought a Woobat and a Pavilion. They are immune obviously because they're flying, and both have a psychic move that does very good damage. Honestly, I feel like Woobat and his subsequent evolution are going to be a very big part of this playthrough. I've recently learned about how strong they are. Tentacool is kind of an interesting. He's new since I recorded the first guide on this person, on this gym. Obviously, the Tentacool is definitely a new Pokemon, but it doesn't really complicate anything. It's just, of course, it's a water poison type, so you'd really want to put an electric type in against that, but there is no real good electric type. Now I put in Geodude here because Stunky is, of course, not going to take damage from psychic. And magnitude is going to one-shot it as long as I get at least magnitude 7, which I roll 8 in both of these clips, so that's pretty lucky. But yeah, for me at least, if I did not roll at least a 7 on that magnitude, I would not be able to kill it. Also, Stunky cannot do really any damage to Geodude. Woobat's in for the same reason. Ivysaur cannot hit me with anything. In fact, he has a high propensity for switching out here, and I assume that's just the AI realizing that it literally cannot attack me for any reasonable damage. Since it's a grass type, it's never going to hit both my types very hard. Haunter, however, would. Luckily, he does not get the chance to. I think he heals here. I don't know. I can't remember the condition, but either way, if he hits me, yeah. So if he uses Venom's Kiss, I mean, if he just used Shadow Claw, I think he has Shadow Claw. If he used that instead, I would be dead, and he would be alive. So that's the difference. Now they are level 15 and stuff. I'm in the 18s, as you saw. So this isn't a prime example, but I wanted to over level this because. Basically, there's not a lot of options here. I could probably beat this whole gym with just 3 or 4 Pokemon, but it's so early on that it's difficult to establish a 100% condition. But it's also difficult to lose. It's that weird time, right? Like where our Pokemon are weak, but so are theirs. So it's like a lot harder to lose, but it's a lot harder to always win. And that's kind of the problem I have here. I'm going to actually show that for you guys. This Seviper is a really good example of this. Like, he's not hard to beat, but he's also hard to stay alive against. The creator of the game obviously jacked up his attack, and he does a lot of damage with that Venom's Kiss thing. But the main plan was kind of just go in with Sleep and put Leech Seed on him, and then, no matter what, I'd be able to win. There's plenty of draws where I actually got Ivysaur to kill him, but he does such little damage to him that it took a while and I had to get really lucky. He does have Shed Skin, but I just wanted to show that off because manipulating the field is something that I plan to do for at least at least once in every gym battle or difficult battle. Like, if you're not going to manipulate the field in some way, then you're not really playing this game to its full potential. In fact, I would argue, and I have argued on the thread, that I would make these games even harder because of this field effect. Like, the field effect is a very high skill cap. If you can manipulate the field to your advantage, maybe, perhaps you would be exploiting, but I think for the most part, balancing that difficulty around the field effect would be a lot more fun. Making it so their Pokemon do a crazy amount of damage with the field, and then you're able to make select choices that manipulate the field against them as well. Kind of like the strategies I use in Crystal Kaizo. But anyway, as you saw there, you just mix and match for the end. And then that's the thing, like, typically in later battles, I would expect that matchup there where I don't win a one-on-one or don't execute the strategy properly. I would expect that to be a loss, but since it's so early, I can literally just throw all my Pokemon at it and they'll eventually kill it. Same thing here, we're going to do one more pull, and it's going to be Trubbish going down like the Titanic. I think he actually survives a hit this time. Oh no, that's what, he uses Payback, which does do a little bit of damage, so just be cautious of that, but it really shouldn't matter. Esper's pretty fast, and all we need him to do is take out 2 Pokemon, ideally. We basically have 2 Pokemon for one of ours. Like, she's got 2, I got 1, and that's the plan. But it doesn't always go that way with Seviper, especially because of how offensive he is. So next up, Tentacool. Again, nothing special. I think he uses, Fell Stinger, so that is, of course, super effective, but very, very low damage, which is not what I expected. When I saw him use that, I was like, oh, he's dead. I'm going to have to change his strategy. But either way, Tentacool down. Very, very weak Pokemon early, so it's no surprise. But it is cool that they added a water type. Makes the gym a little bit more diverse. Because, you wouldn't be able to go like straight ground against it is kind of the point there. But anyway, Geodude comes in once again because Stunky has a fire move. He's going to try to use that. Does almost no damage. He can't really do any other damage to me. He has no other moves that would even be close. This is kind of like, you're playing to not lose strategy here. Even though I do one-shot it, I can't guarantee a one-shot because of how weak my moves are at this time. I have to roll high on magnitude. So if you're having trouble with any of these first gyms, just bring Geodude and roll high on magnitude. It's kind of like the go-to strat. But yeah, super effective there, and we get the flinch with Heart Stamp, a very good move. And like I said, I think Woobat is actually going to turn into probably one of my best Pokemon. Let's rephrase that. One of my most effective Pokemon. I don't expect him to be the strongest, but I expect him to be able to be effective. Just like kind of like the explosion strats in previous attempts in these games, and also in Crystal Kaizo. Kind of like that, where the Pokemon itself can't do much, but the moves they have can be very effective. So there you go, super effective. That's that for that. And now I got to kind of piece things together. But Pavilion is on this team for just this reason. Very strong counter to Haunter for the exact same reason. He cannot deal very big damage to me. Obviously, this is neutral and it is strengthened, but it still does very little to me. So I like Pavilion. I think I'm going to use it a bit more. It seems like it might even be good for the second gym. So we'll see how it scales up. But yeah, that's that with Psybeam. Pavilion is just, it's so fast that it's always going to take out that Haunter. And same deal here, I actually get a little bit better rolls on this, but Seviper is just very monstrous. But like I said, at this point, as long as you follow the strategy, I mean, you can really just bring 2 Geodudes and you'd probably be able to beat the whole gym with just them because they're that strong. But I like to avoid that type of roll. Like, I don't want to have to record 6-7 times before I finally get a magnitude 10 on every turn, something like that. But anyway, yeah, Seviper is going to try to wake up, and he does indeed do it, so that's that. But you got the Leech Seed on. That was kind of like the condition I was going for. I just like to abuse the field a little bit. Like, oh, look at me. I just put you to sleep, you loser. If you didn't fight on this field, I would probably not have succeeded in that. But anyway, yeah, the Pavilion, I think he dies here. No, I think he survives with... No, he doesn't. All right, yeah, so that's that. So Seviper is a little bit slower than Pavilion, obviously, and that's what I was going for there, just to get a little chip damage on him. And then I have, 3 now other options that can come in and just deal 1 hit each, and they'd survive. Once again, Esper faster than Seviper, and that is pretty much putting him in kill range for any other type of damage, even Pidgeotto. I have Pidgeotto on the team just because I was thinking maybe Venusaur was going to need the hit, but didn't end up being that way, guys. So thanks for watching. Next up, obviously, is going to be Gym 2. I don't think there's any real challenges along the way, but maybe I'll do something different. Either way, I really enjoyed this game. I cannot wait to play it through again. I really love it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the changes. I've not actually played this game through in probably close to a year now, so very cool. Thanks for watching, and once again, if you have any questions, just let me know.